And a warm welcome. Good evening, everyone, and good afternoon if you are in the USA. A warm welcome to the Cappuccino Club's social TV show. We've been going live for 21 days today, every single day of the week. Basically, keeping, checking in on one another, on the community, and on all of you out there. So, hearty welcome to our audience on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, on Twitter, and whatever you are doing, wherever you are, welcome to the show. Join us in the comments. Tell us what you're doing and how you're doing it, how you're pivoting. And a hearty warm welcome to my co host, Viola Manuel. Viola, how are you today?
Doing very well, thank you. It was a nice sound in Cape Town to wake up to all the rain. So we had a very rainy morning this morning, and it was lovely to actually wake up to that sound and just be outside and know that I didn't have to go to work, in the rain. So it was just so lovely to just be able to stand there and have a cup of coffee, and it was a good way to start my morning. So yeah, Cape Town's doing well. I'm doing really well. Day 21. Who would have thought we'd survive it? But we did.
I know, right? Isn't that one of the huge bonuses of being able to work remotely, that you don't have to fight your way through traffic, and especially traffic in rainy weather, because Cape Town's notorious for having its roads blocked. I suppose, like anywhere else, when it rains, it takes twice as long to get into the city center. And so, this is wonderful that we can work remotely. We don't have to fight traffic. That's a big plus.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was thinking. It was just the strangest thought entered my mind this morning when I stood in the, sort of stood inside and watched the rain fall. I was thinking, oh goodness, I don't have to have that panic of having to get Shay to school and get to work and all of those good things in the rain. I could sort of stand there and very calmly drink a cup of coffee, and enjoy the rain this morning. So there's lots of things that we've just been able to enjoy, I guess, over this lockdown period. Things that we never really took notice of before. I've been watching my lemon tree start to mature and starting to see some lemons growing on there, and some it's just like little things that you've been able to take notice of now, which you really couldn't or didn't have the time to or didn't have the compunction to until lockdown started. So grateful for those small mercies and blessings.
Oh, absolutely. It's the little things in life that we've often neglected to appreciate. And now that we have a little bit more time to, because let's face it, you have at least an extra 2.5 to 3 hours in your day because you're not spending that time in traffic traveling to and from appointments. And so you have that extra time in your day to just be with your family, be with life, have a bit more time to reflect
Correct.
and be reflective, which is
Correct.
amazing. And now, yesterday we had, a bunch of beautiful young people on our show. It was quite an
Yeah.
experience.
So I think they say in Hollywood, be careful of acting of working with kids and animals. Um, but it was a wonderful experience having having the young people on the show yesterday. It was very entertaining. Just some of the just the way young people think. It's always just so refreshing to listen to them speak and just have them, I think, be brave enough to actually go live. And that's what we've been talking about. There's lots of adults who are a lot more stressed about having to go live, and I just watched the kids and how naturally they took to it, and just were able to. They were like ducks to water. They were just like absolutely loving it. Actually, I couldn't get Shay out of the frame afterwards. He kept saying, and then last night he sort of said to me, do you need me back on the show today? And I said, no, I think we'll cope without you. So yeah, they thrilled, they absolutely loved the experience, and it was wonderful to have some of the Cappuccino Club moms, just be brave enough to allow us to speak to their kids and spend some time with their kids, and they were really gracious. So thank you very much.
I really loved the experience. It was lovely. It really was good. Now, post that show yesterday, I found something very interesting. Now, a lot of parents are very stressed out about the experience. Some children are stressed out because it's different for them. Children want to hang around with their friends. Some of them are making the most of connecting digitally, and some of them are even enjoying that.
Yeah.
If they don't adapt very well in a social setting, um, in person, some of them are embracing the technology bit and actually really enjoying being able to be social from the comfort of their home, the safety of their home. And so,
Yes.
the experience is so very different for every single person. And a lot of parents out there are stressed, and some people are feeling, well, our children are going to get behind,
Yeah.
that they not because they're not getting the schooling that they should. Now, let's face it, we did mention that we need to be very careful about how we talk about um, the benefits of COVID-19 and the unintended consequences, because not everybody has got access to the internet. Not
Correct.
everybody can afford the data it takes for their children to sit online all day. It's not an accessible option for everyone. And so those parents can be feeling very stressed. And there's a principle that has really um, coined how this could be beneficial in a different way for this particular generation of children. And we've kind of taken on the word pivot, and that's basically what he was saying, that this could be the catalyst that creates a new generation of young people and shapes how they become in future.
Yeah, and he actually talks about them as leaders and the kind of leaders that this experience is going to produce. And so, I thought it was, just having the conversation yesterday. I think it was Madison that was saying she's playing board games with her cousin using technology, and the kids who do find themselves in the situation where they are able to actually do that. I think it's fantastic for them, but as we are saying, there are some kids, and so let me just also say that Shay's at school full time now from yesterday. He sort of has a full day from 7:45 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They are following their curriculum, and they are he does, each subject as he would have done it at school. I mean, even his physical education, I thought that was really weird. I just heard lots of noise in the room and came to check on him, and he was sort of doing frog hops and stuff. So I think it's brilliant that some schools have really been on top of it and have been able to rope their teachers in and get their teachers to still conduct classes. That's fantastic. But one of the things that I really understand this principle is saying is that, we talk about academic progress, and then there's the other types of progress that actually can be made in this time. A lot of us focus on sort of IQ, and I think he's very focused on EQ in terms of this whole experience. So, just I just loved what the principal said about the fact that it's an opportunity for kids to just be educated in a very different way now.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought we could show some of these on screen. So this one talks about what if COVID-19 and the experience thereof teaches them to have more empathy, to enjoy family connection, to be more creative, learn how to entertain themselves. They could discover that they love to read if they didn't know that before,
Correct.
and how to express themselves in writing. So it's an opportunity for them to, as you rightly said, for them to learn things or experience things in a completely different way. And I think some of the children yesterday, when you asked them what is it that they like more about it, I think it was also Madison that mentioned it was nicer having mom and dad home for longer periods, getting more
Yes.
out of them, because and and I think that is a very, very valid comment, that children who normally see their parents maybe for 3 hours in the evening before they go to bed,
Yeah.
now get to see them for longer periods during the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, even the kids were expressing the fact that they were enjoying just having parents around, just reading. I know that some of them spoke about reading books now, getting involved in art, and just doing simple things around the house which they you don't have the time to really supervise them doing. So doing things like washing dishes and sewing a button and learning to knit and all those skills that we really don't always have the time to teach our kids. Now's the time to do that. And I think just exactly that, just talk about the flowers when they emerge, and just talk about the rain, and just have a chance to walk around the garden. Shay and I've been doing a lot of gardening. So the opportunity to just walk around the garden, and I've got this beautiful bush that's now just decided to start blooming. And, just being able to take the 2 seconds it takes walking past that to say to him, look at this, look at the colors of this, how would you describe this? So it's a whole different, we're having different conversations to the ones that say, look, have you packed in your school uniform? Have you done your homework? Have you done this? Have you done that? Um, neaten your cupboard, find your sports clothes, get your cricket bat, those, the conversations are different. And I think, moms and dads need to actually take that and work with that. I don't know if we'll still be able to do that when everything returns to the way it was after lockdown. I hope we can actually hold on to some of these things, and even the food thing, we ask the kids about food because usually in a pinch, everybody just gets takeaways. But now we've had to make do with what we have, just cook what we have, and deal with that, and try and make it as interesting as possible for the kids, because you're not doing shopping trips every day where you can, or being able to order them pizza on days that you've made cabbage breedy and they don't want to eat it, so I just think I loved the comments that were made by this principal. It was fantastic.
Yes, this one, for example, shopping trips and planning meals. It's something that we took for granted. We're really having to sort of kick back at the moment and think about things. And children may not have appreciated, how meal lands on the table. I think traditionally it's been very tough for a lot of parents to even get their children to sit at the dinner table with them. That kind of just grab a plate in passing and you're lucky if you see them. Whereas
Absolutely.
now, I think that landscape has changed somewhat because now you have to be more careful about how you obtain that food and how you make that food last so that you're not making shopping trips. I think for a lot of households it's changing. I know in our household, for example, it was very easy to simply every day just quickly nip into the store and get what you need for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Um, so, for us, for example, that was a huge mind shift having to now plan for meals. We've been trying to plan for meals for 2 weeks at a time so that we're
Yes.
not going to the store as often. You don't
And
want to expose yourself unnecessarily.
yeah, and I mean now, just buying bulk, before, it's buying, a pocket of potatoes as opposed to, that sort of 2 kg bag, because I just don't want to go to the store. And talking about that, I think one of the things we've been talking about is, lots of people were using this trip to the store to sort of meet friends and all those good things. And now I know the Western Cape government's very concerned about the fact that there seems to be a pattern of people actually picking up COVID at stores. And so I know a lot of the shops now have those shops that have been identified as having people who have been contacted, have contracted the COVID-19 disease at stores. Those stores are being closed down now, so there is a very real risk of coming away from there with the virus. So we do have to be quite careful. But this part is my absolute favorite.
I know, I know. Um, and I think this is a very valid point that, we're creating young people that is now going to look at life in a different way. They're going to appreciate the finer things in life. And I don't think that school could have taught these lessons to our children. But living through this experience of COVID-19 um, is really helping them to experience firsthand how we need empathy and concern for fellow humans. Now, myself and a group of my friends have been calling random people on the phone and just talking to them and saying, we found your number in the white pages, and we're calling people to find out how they are doing. And the reception has been absolutely amazing. I mean, we say to people, look, you don't know who I am. I'm calling people as a public service to find out how they're doing. And people are so appreciative of that.
Yeah,
That somebody they don't know would call them up and say, how are you doing? How's your day?
yeah,
Are you coping?
yeah. Yeah, and again, we don't realize that these little eyes and little ears are listening to us and watching us, and so doing those kindnesses and the expression and concern for others, and being able to talk about what it means to lose a loved one, what it means to not be able to see grandma and grandpa as often as we used to. And just being able to generate an appreciation for them and for their time. And grandma and grandpa are not here to help mom. So, you have to help. Dynamic, the landscape has changed completely. And just being able to appreciate the benefits or the positive things that can come out of a crisis like this is absolutely essential. There's going to, out of this group of kids that have experienced this, who have been impacted by this, I know that there's some great leader that will emerge from this, just understanding people better than that kid would have understood if this experience had not happened.
Oh, absolutely. So the other thing that we found very interesting is that some of the comments we've gotten from past shows, and we've been talking a lot about how companies can pivot from what they're doing. And so we've had one of our viewers from Puerto Rico has shared how a company or some of the businesses they are pivoting. And I thought
Yeah.
maybe we could share some of those. Um, the first one is a company that I think most of us are familiar with. Um, Bacardi, they usually make rum, and they are now making alcoholic products designed for sanitation. How's that for a pivot?
Wow. That's just amazing. I mean, it's just amazing to think that it's and it really just took a group of innovative, forward-thinking people to make that strategic decision. And I know Bacardi is a very big company, it's a well-known brand, but again, our discussion is, with the business that you have, look at the product or service that you're offering and figure out, how can I actually make it relevant to what the market is going to need post COVID-19, and post the lockdown at least.
Oh, absolutely. And it's little things that we may never have thought of, beachwear manufacturer now making face masks.
Yeah.
Who would have connected those dots?
Yeah. And it's exactly your example that you've used so often about the person who was making sheets and curtains for hotels, sitting with all of that fabric. What could you be doing? Make face masks. So you've got all the basic resources. It's just a change in pattern that's going to make you relevant again as a business.
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to be, face masks is going to be something that's needed worldwide right now for a significant amount of time. And,
Yes,
you can't be making curtains and beachwear because nobody's able to use those items right now, but everybody needs face masks,
correct.
including our frontliners. and emergency workers. So there's a huge demand.
And I
Um,
seriously think, I know it sounds really crazy, but I seriously think it's almost going to become one of those fashion accessories. You're gonna want a face mask in different colors. You're gonna need one. You're gonna need at least three or four because you have to wash them, and you have to take. You have to put on a new one every time you go out. Those kinds of things are going to it's going to impact. And I think an innovative, funky, clever person is going to find a way to actually make that part of your sort of your fashion statement as well. So I'm very excited to see what people are going to start doing with these cloth face masks as well.
Now, here's another one that I really, really like. Farms in Puerto Rico are now delivering produce directly because, we don't get access to farmers' products any longer. They're all delivered to the retailers before we can get them. And so here they are now delivering their produce to people's homes directly from the farms, cutting out that middleman and the time that it takes to get the produce. So farmers out there, I think almost every single one of it reminds me of the days when our milk was delivered at the front door.
Absolutely. In those glass bottles with a little foil top. We're getting our age away. But yeah, I remember that. And if farmers could start speaking to people like Mr. Delivery, Uber Eats, etc., the infrastructure's there already. Even Mr. Delivery as a business, or any one of those sort of delivery businesses, the infrastructure's there. If they could go to some of these farmers and say, look, give us the produce, we'll deliver for you. Just start speaking to each other and figuring out how can we actually become partners in this business, in this new pivot of ours.
Speaking of which, I was showing those videos. We were showing those videos the other day of examples of how people could pivot,
Yeah,
and I saw a video of a winemaker, and he was talking about wines and just giving people general information about he was doing some education on wine. So it doesn't matter what you talk about, but get yourself out there, talk about your products and services, tell people
absolutely,
your story. Coffee shops, tell people how you make your best coffee, tell them how you make your best signature cake. It's not
yeah,
going to mean you're going to get less business. People are going to love you for being willing to let go of your best recipes. But
absolutely,
guess what? When the lockdown is lifted, it's not going to stop people from coming to your coffee shop or your restaurant because you've given away your favorite recipes. Because people
absolutely.
come for the ambiance.
Absolutely, absolutely, and not everybody's going to be able to make that cake the way you do. It's the
No.
it's sort of you just find it all the time. You'll ask some people, give me the recipe of this cake, and they're like a bit concerned about the fact that you want their recipe, and yet they're always going to be able to make it really well. So I do think that just the more we share with each other at this time, the more we're going to be finding that we're going to be endearing ourselves to each other.
Oh, absolutely. And the more you give of yourself and the more you give of your knowledge, the more you are going to endear yourself to your clientele. That, essential ingredient of know, like, and
Absolutely.
trust is building relationships. And if you can strengthen those relationships by being willing to let go of something you held dear, is going to
Yes,
endear your clients to you. So
absolutely.
definitely something that you should consider at this time. Anyway, I think we're pretty much out of time for today.
Yeah, it's gone so quickly. Um, yeah, Brigitte, I think we would love our viewers to just talk to us about some of their ideas on how people could pivot, or what they're doing to survive the lockdown. It would be fantastic to start speaking about some local cases as well. But I just, let's just continue to be safe. Let's continue to be responsible. And I think that's a very important word. Just be responsible about everything. You know, um, try to just be personable and try and be understanding with people. You don't know what people's circumstances are. Even your neighbor in, I think, more affluent areas, you don't know what their circumstances are. Just be more neighborly and be more kind. As South Africans, I think we just are really going to have to help each other through this whole process.
Oh, absolutely. That is so true. What are we looking forward to tomorrow on the show?
So tomorrow we're quite excited. We've got a panel of ladies who are going to just take us through their 21-day experience with lockdown, and just talk through the whole experience, what they've experienced from day one through to the end. And it's going to just be their personal views on how their family dynamics have changed, how work dynamics have changed, etc. So very excited to invite some of our ladies from Cappuccino Club to be part of that discussion tomorrow.
Wonderful. A huge big thank you to all of you who have joined us live today, and thank you for sharing the show. And we look forward to seeing you back again tomorrow. So be safe, continue to wear your masks, wash your hands. And last but not least, please remember that we do not want, we do, on the Cappuccino Club, we do not support misinformation, disinformation, or fake news about the coronavirus. And a reminder that it is a punishable offense in South Africa. Stay safe, everyone. From me, Bridget Limbanda, it's goodbye for now.
Bye bye. Thank you.